From Wakefield, it's the Ice-T Meme Show starring NoLdAwG, inviting you to join NoLdAwG and his guest this week, Jason Yang, back to the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's NoLdAwG.
And welcome back for another edition of the Ice-T Meme Show. I'm your host, NoLdAwG, and I'm so honored and grateful and thankful for, that you decided to come back for another edition of the show. We had a great show for you planned this week. A dear friend, as close of a relative as you can, being feeling without actually being right blood-wise. Jason Yang is coming back to the show. A lot of stuff has happened in the news, so it's going to be a great segment. So stay with us. We'll be right back with the rest of the show and our guest, Jason Yang. And welcome back to the program. Thanks for staying with us. And now it's for the moment I know for a fact you've all been waiting for, the Ice-T Meme Show. This episode and every other one. It's the segment I like to call "What Happened This Past Week with NoLdAwG." We're going to talk about what happened in the news this past week in sports, entertainment, music, business, politics, health, and science, and so on and so forth. The best ability I can, since we last met each other on this show. Without further ado, let us get right to the segment. First up, in the ITM news cycle, President Biden made it official that those who are actually patriots, who've been double vaxxed, can go into town and social gatherings without a mask. Fortunately, still Camille are getting told they can't have a sleepover and asking over and over again. Part of Q and the Neanderthal-like followers continue to press back the science and the belief that it's real. I guess, like a pirate captain, they go down with the ship. They all go down with the ship, I should say. Good news for the AL East teams and the MLB. The embarrassment that is the 2021 New York Yankees officially collected a total of 9 cold cases this past weekend, resulting in potential probe into how this happened. What should be probed is why they're so bad this year and why they still have Gary Sanchez on their fucking team. They're so bad. How bad are they? Cable repair companies get to your house faster than the Yankees' ability to win this year consistently. Boom. In some more soothing and deserved news, the talk show heavyweight Ellen has announced that her daytime program will be ending after 19 seasons. Ellen has got more heat than a Phoenix Spring for reported treatment of guests, audience members, and staff members. Ellen's show ending is like Duncan releasing new fatty drinks and breakfasts. We don't care, but we'll take it anyways. Speaking about Ellen, it's been reported that her replacement is going to be none other than another L female comic and Tiffany Haddish. For those who don't know who that is, just imagine the hot Cheeto girl from high school, except 1,000 times fucking louder. Haddish is only popular low-key because of Kevin Hart and Eric Andre. Yeah, but good luck to Haddish with her show. Hopefully you won't get the double Tim Allen last man standing treatment. It's been reported that legendary baseball player Albert Pujols will be signing a deal with the Dodgers for the remainder of the season. Pujols decided to play still as a 30-year-old coming back again to fraternity events. It's just time to hang it up and stop the embarrassment. Some television controversy. The hit TV show Blackish, much earlier than expected, has been canceled much earlier than expected, I should say. After hearing that, middle-class families who still actually watch nighttime television pulled a Shrek 1 hunt with pitchforks and torches before posting about justice on Instagram with 1,000 fucking hashtags. In some sad news of events, Green Bay has acquired yet another QB banker just 3 days after acquiring the embarrassment that is QB Bortles, which further cements the future destination of quarterback Aaron Rodgers as a Packer. Green Bay is making worse decisions by the day than James Dillon on NBA draft night. Boom. Boy, I butchered that. It was reported on Axios on what Biden has been like behind closed doors, and his aides have commented that although he has a short temper when questions aren't answered right away, he doesn't have that short of a temper like Trump did. Let's not forget, though, that this shouldn't be new information, as Biden is the same age as his aides' own grandparents. Boom. In some sad news from another grandpa of his craft, Eric Clapton recently commented on his, quote, severe reactions to the AstraZeneca vaccine and reportedly blames the, quote, propaganda surrounding the vaccine for what he believes was misinformation regarding its safety. Apparently, the Trump virus is made itself international, like the South African strain of the virus. Boom. In some disappointing news, after announcing his split with his wife, reports on disgusting behavior around female members of both Microsoft and the foundation regarding Bill Gates. Just when you think Trump was gone from online forever, he still has his presence. And again, at least Bill Gates won't have to worry about paying payment because unlike Trump, he has actual money to use. Boom, butchered that joke as well. Some unfortunate news: the hit TV show Blue Bloods will be ending after 11 seasons. If Donnie Wahlberg couldn't catch a break with his mother's death, now the only way he's been able to stay relevant is going to end faster than the Kentucky Derby soon. Boom. Announced the 2022 Super Bowl is already in, with the Kansas City Chiefs, the favorites, closely followed by last year's champion, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. To hang that news, Jackson Mahomes started to plan out next season's TikToks dance for each week, and then go AFK when they lose and get negative comments. Boom, that was butchered. In some hard to believe news, like Fox News reporting something not bashing Democrats, the New York Knicks have officially made the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2012 to 2013. The last time they made the playoffs, silly bands were in and Justin Bieber was still annoying. The last time they made the playoffs, DJ Khaled was still stealing his singing credit for a rap song he had nothing to do with. Boom. Some sad news for wannabe stock exchangers living at home. Bitcoin prices have reportedly dropped sharply after tech giant Elon Musk teased that he'd be selling his shares. This was as big of news in my house since Norman Lloyd died last week. No one cared. People are hanging on to Bitcoin harder than the last tooth a kid has to lose, and it won't come out. Boom. And some interesting sports news just fresh off this year's NBA Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The 2021 class has been announced. It will be headlined by the likes of Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh, and Chris fucking Webber. This is surprising as it didn't allow Vanessa Bryant to sue her mother again for something that wasn't more than a handshake deal. Boom. And to round out the ITM news cycle, famous rapper J. Cole made his professional basketball debut in the new Basketball Africa League, finishing with an embarrassing, get this, 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. I haven't seen this much of an embarrassment than my grandfather cooking me dinner when I was 10 years old. Boom. That's up for this past week in the news. The NoLdAwG stuff was right back with the show and our guest this week, Jason Yang. And welcome back to the program. I'm so glad you made the decision to stay with us. Stay with us wherever you're streaming this week's show. Well, let me tell you, and this is, all in all honesty to everyone out there, in life, there are acquaintances, there are peers, there are classmates, friends, and there's family. And let me tell you, this next person is as close to family as there could be without being actually blood related as you can. I'm honored he wanted to come back on the show. He's the one and only Jason Yang. What's going on, my friend? How's it going?
Hello, everyone. It is going fantastic. It's a beautiful day, 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Northeasterly wind, 3 miles per hour. That might not be true, actually. But,
yeah. Who cares? Half the time, the weather prediction is always wrong, anyways, right?
Yeah.
That's why they make the big bucks. But it's been a while since you were on the show. It's been since the 18th of January. So what's been going on since you last were on the show? Right? Yeah,
Let's see. I was in school. I went to university on this little fun thing called Zoom. I met a lot of cool people. I just had a good semester, here I am. And a lot of things are cool. Yeah.
I'm curious though. You just mentioned obviously you went to school and now you're graduating. This was all during pandemic, so much different than let's say when your brother went to school yep. Or anyone else, and also be different for me next year if I graduate next year.
Yeah.
How is that? How are you able to mentally and physically wrap yourself around graduating, trying to complete school during this pandemic?
So that's a good question. It was tough. This was probably my hardest semester, both as far as like a mental toll and school wise. I definitely tried to take more time for myself. I spent a lot less time focusing on like academics. Like I took the gas off of my grades, which is fine because like a moderate hit to my grades isn't a big deal at this point. And it was just mainly trying to be around people that I like being around. I think it's worked out pretty well. This is the worst semester I've had academically, but still, it's been great. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, you graduate. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you finish, as long as you finish.
Yeah. What is it? D's get degrees, you know.
Yeah, there you go. C's get degrees. That's how you. I got to think, Jason.
D's don't get degrees. Not
D's
at your.
don't.
Yeah, you got
C.
to get a C minus at least.
Yeah, C's get degrees, not
Yeah,
D's.
cool.
But now that you're graduated, how's it gonna be? I mean, you may have already done it, you may already have one, but the experience and the mission and process of looking for a full-time job during this pandemic. Now that you've graduated,
That's a big question, Nolan. I think I actually got lucked out. I actually got an offer this morning.
Oh, there you go.
And it's with a really cool company, and I think I'm really gonna appreciate it. And I think I'm gonna take him. Take him up on the offer.
Good luck. I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
something. I mean, it's unfortunate a lot during this pandemic this past year because you see a lot of people down and out and they lost their job or they're scaled back and they can't do this. And now you see that we're trying to get out of this pandemic and a lot of people are collecting unemployment and they're getting paid more for unemployment than they are at their actual job. So people are having a hard time, hiring people. So it's definitely an interesting thing. But I know with the level of smartness that you have, I'm sure it's going to be picked up right away for something for the next 30 years. I'm
honored you think I have a level of smartness. Thank you.
well, you're doing that. That's no question. Now, obviously, like I just said, you're a smart man, so I think you're aware of most things that go on. And as the data has come out and the science and whatnot, the country, not just Rhode Island, has starting to reopen again, and things are reopening and capacity and stuff. And what's your viewpoint on this? I'm curious.
I think it's making sense, as far as like how fast we're proceeding with vaccines. I mean, I just got my vaccine like a few weeks ago, and I literally scheduled that like the day of. So like I scheduled like my vaccine and then I got it the day, like, a few hours later.
There you go.
So it's been pretty easy to get a vaccine. So I think it makes sense that things are starting to open up, and I'm really glad it's happening. I imagine like exactly a year ago, like people would like never saw like a return to normalcy of like this degree really showing up.
Well, yeah, it just at one point it just was looking really bad, and it's like, when are we going to get out of this? And now here we are, people getting most elderly people getting double vaxxed, and a lot of people getting vaxxed. Now you see 12 to 15-year-olds being able to get the vaccine, so it's very good. I'm wondering. I usually ask this with my guests. I don't know if I asked this last time you were on, but if you had to look not just at Rhode Island's how they did so far, but from the country's perspective, how do you think we've dealt with this entire thing this time around?
Can you not hear me?
I didn't hear you for a second. But no, what were you saying? You might. I think you were cut out.
Oh, that was weird because that was weird. Yeah. So I think Oh wait, what was the question again?
The question was like from not just the state level perspective, but from the country's as a whole, how do you think we've dealt with it this time around as we're getting closer to being done with it?
Oh, so like, I mean, this time around, I was in Ireland when the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was, I think Ireland handled it very well. Like the day, I remember the day, it was March 12th, the president of the United States made an announcement, and like that sort of set everyone into a frenzy of quarantine. I think the amount of influence that the United States president has is like, it's not to be trifled with. So, I think the U.S. could have handled it a lot better by taking care of it a bit earlier. It's like the way the pandemic was handled was sort of like in the U.S. was like actually impacted me. I didn't like, this is like the first time a government decision has actually like impacted my life directly.
For sure, yeah.
Like with immediate and substantial effects, and that would be like former President Donald Trump's handling of we're like treating the pandemic as like something that's not a huge deal, like as at its start, and like
yeah,
because of that, I was out like $7,000. You know, I
Oh
missed
yeah,
Portugal. You know, a bunch of plans got befuddled. So
yeah, which is
it definitely could have handled it better. You know, a lot of countries in Europe handled it pretty well. Ireland didn't have a case until like pretty late into the pandemic. I mean, didn't have a major case surge until pretty late.
But would you
So,
think? Would you think though now, with who's in charge, regardless? I mean, it's been handled a
Mhm.
little better.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the vaccines are rolling out fast, but
Yeah,
again, I got to give the benefit of the doubt. The vaccine only really came out towards the end of
yeah,
previous president's, term. So, but regardless, I think it's important to focus on the here and now. And
yeah.
the fact of the matter is, we're coming out of this pandemic, and it's good.
But without further ado, it's the final segment of this show, and it's the more personal section of the show where we dive into some of the interesting other topics that first section isn't about. Now, Jason, you are a fan of movies and entertainment, of such stuff like that, and concerts and music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're also a fan of Star Wars. Now,
Yes.
I'm curious. Now,
Mhm.
there's been a lot of content post sequel trilogy for Star Wars.
Okay.
The Bad Batch in particular on Disney Plus. Have you gotten the chance to seen it?
No, I haven't. I just got Disney Plus, and I've been like really binge watching. Like school just ended, so I had plenty of time. My friend Kate, she gave me her Disney Plus, and I've been watching. I've been watching mostly the Marvel stuff to start. I've completely finished WandaVision and Winter Soldier. They're both great. And I was gonna move on to the Mandalorian next, but
yeah,
I might. That's
Well, I'll ask you this then.
Yeah.
You're obviously a fan of Marvel. You just said you've been
Love
watching
Marvel.
a lot of that stuff. Now obviously there have been a lot of Marvel entertainment, but to the best of your ability, how would you rank the Marvel franchise?
All 23 films.
I mean, obviously you don't have to do that, but your
All
top,
right.
your top,
I
like,
think
let's say 5.
No. Why don't I? Okay. All right. I recently rewatched Endgame, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What a finale for an incredible franchise. It's a metaphysical good egg of a franchise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and totally. And I would put Infinity War though at the top.
Over Endgame?
Because of how because of how much it surprised me. And how good of how strong of a character, like how well written of a character Thanos was.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best.
Yeah, I think they sort of kind of messed with his motivations, and they didn't really make sense in Endgame, in my opinion. But Infinity War was incredible. I had no idea. My good friend Steven Stejo, you know him. He saw the movie before me, and we were talking about it, and he did a very good job on hyping me up for the movie while simultaneously not spoiling the ending.
There you go.
So I was completely surprised when the snap happened. Infinity War, I put Endgame at 2 because of all the nostalgia factor. The performances from Downey and then a lot of people overlook Hemsworth for Thor, but I really love his arc in Endgame.
I think not to jump on top of you answering the question, but I feel as though Hemsworth definitely improved with of the character as this franchise moved on from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I really like his fall from grace in Endgame. I thought really made sense. I sort of related to it honestly on a personal level.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why Thor Ragnarok will probably be 3.
Great
thought it was
movie.
hilarious, very clever, really nice spin on the character. For 4 and 5, I would interchange. I would say 4 is Iron Man, the original, because it's a classic. It really started the whole franchise.
Really? Wow.
For 5, 5's tough. I really liked the original Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could see myself liking Civil War more. It's either Civil War or the original Avengers.
I was wondering when you put a Captain America movie in there.
Yeah. I think Avengers is like kind of low because like watching it now, seeing all the costumes and stuff, it's kind of corny.
Yeah.
It's like they definitely changed direction after that whole phase one was finished.
Oh
but,
yeah.
And then Civil War. That's like I really like the dark tone they took with Civil War.
Yeah, that was great.
The action was incredible. The motivations made sense. They call it Captain America Civil War, but it's really like Avengers, 2.5, right? The performance of Evans and Downey are incredible.
I want to make I'm curious, obviously, like I just said, not even just Star Wars, but Marvel, they have they have a large increase in influx of content, sequels, and new series for every single different character they have in the programs. I'm wondering to you, is that beneficial for the franchise, or does that kind of take down the quality that they originally put out of the entire thing?
I wouldn't say it dilutes the quality. I think it's there are people out there, big Star Wars fans that like myself, who want to know more about this world that George Lucas created. Because it's there's so much potential, and obviously Disney wants money, but like people want to hear more about like the canon of the Star Wars universe. Like, I sort of get that, sentiment. Yeah. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. It's just, I think, I really liked Rogue One.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah. But beyond that, I haven't really seen much. I didn't really like Solo. Like, if we're talking about like the expanded, like the universe outside of the main 9 movies, yeah, I've only really seen Rogue One. Let's see. I've seen part of Clone Wars. I think it's a little too long of a series for me to watch back to back, but or end to end. And
it gets better. It gets better by near the end. It's slow at first.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I know there's like a whole list of episodes that people like recommend to watch if they want to, save time. But yeah, I think I think it's it's good that they're doing it. It's like people want more Star Wars, so they'll get more Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to be careful with what you're doing, because you don't want to soil it. Similar to like, what you said, Solo. Now, I enjoy. I think as a fan, if they're putting stuff out, I'm gonna enjoy it because it's Star Wars. It's great. Right. I think a movie like that. I mean, it's similar. I think to The Last Jedi in the sense are they good regardless? Yeah, sure, they're entertaining. But I think sometimes you overstep it and you don't knock it out of the park, and it can be an acquired taste. But if they're doing the right direction with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and they're doing the right stuff and doing their best, and good luck to them. So I'm looking forward to what else they do. But I think definitely not putting it out every single year and doing it, waiting and making sure it's great. So waiting a year or two to put something out again definitely helps it. Now, another passion of yours besides Marvel and Star Wars and entertainment and music and burgers is tennis. And obviously, the tennis world was affected by the pandemic, and they definitely had to put their stuff on hold, and they had to have all these rules. But now they're opened again, and now that fans are coming back, your view. How would you grade their performance to ATP and WTA dealing with the pandemic now that they've been able to bring fans back?
So so like the ATP, you mean like the overseeing organizations of?
They oversee both women's and men's professional tennis.
I wish I had more time to like follow, like the ATP and the WTA. Can you give an example of something that they did?
Well, I mean, like at first, I don't know exactly how early this was, but I know at first, obviously, there were no fans and there weren't any major tournaments, and they were just having like the challenger type things where it was just like a not challenger type events, but where it was just like a we're not getting any points for your ranking, so it's just like a exhibition. and the players can only touch the balls. The other players can't touch it. So if I'm playing with you and I hit your balls over to your side, you can only touch those, and I have to have my own. They have to touch their own equipment and bags that ball players can go.
The ATP is doing that with the balls, tennis balls?
Well, no, it was like that at first when it was really rampant, and then the players were the ones that could touch their own towels and stuff, and then
that's fair, yeah.
And then there were only maybe a few fans, and they had to be sporadic, only coaches, I think. And then as time got on, then they were able to lighten those up, and now they're able to have fans and stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to not have fans at tennis events. It's okay. It's a different game, I tell you. I know from experience, it's a different game. Playing in an empty stadium.
Oh yeah.
Because the crowd plays a huge factor in such a one-on-one game, and it's normally supposed to be quiet. So, yeah.
And if you're down, then and you have a crowd that's favorable to you, and they definitely can help you get back into it. But if there's no fans there or no crowd, you're stranded out there, and it's definitely a spooky thing to say the least. Now, I mentioned this a few seconds ago. A loaf of burgers. I'm wondering when more burger content is going to be coming out. If there's going to be an opportunity.
Burger content? What's this?
Yeah, remember you 12? Maybe you had the burger account on Instagram.
Burger content. I don't know. Now that I got some free time, I'm feeling some sort of food resurgence coming along. It might not be just blogging about burgers that I'm eating at restaurants. It might just be cooking in general.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start a second Instagram. Cooking with Jason. Weekdays at 5 p.m. And
a YouTube account maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's an idea.
Or your own podcast about food.
Yeah. I totally do that.
But and the sad thing, piggybacking back towards the movie and stuff. Now there's a place where in South Kingstown, the only place, to be honest, besides doing it at home, to go see movies, and is in the South County Commons at Entertainment Cinemas. And unfortunately, the movie theater there was a victim of the pandemic and had to what?
Yeah, that's sad. Yeah,
and had to close for good, unfortunately, which is the only place near us besides Warwick or East Greenwich to go see movies. What was that? What was that like for you hearing that news?
Oh man, I didn't hear about it really. I mean, I did over social media, but what really got me is I drove past it a few days ago, and it was just the doors were closed, the lights were off. It's a very prominent childhood location, and to see it closed like that, it's like a sign of your childhood ending.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah. Your child in South Kingstown. So
I mean, it's just there's so many movies I saw for birthdays and parties and stuff, and going with friends last minute. I remember. I remember when we did the Carla Branch tennis thing, and it might have been canceled. Right. It might have been canceled one night. Me, you, and I forget who else. I think Braden was there, and do you remember what movie we saw?
Huh?
Yeah,
that was Dunkirk. Braden did not like it. We wanted to see Baby Driver, I think, but it was rated R.
Yeah,
you guys were children, so we weren't allowed in.
Yeah, but there are moments like that where you go last minute to something and you still have fun, and you go into Applebee's beforehand or afterwards, and there's just a lot of fun to see something like that, because you go in there, and besides Applebee's, and then obviously the apartments there, maybe the hotel behind it, but you don't know. Oh, I don't know what else is really bringing home a significant amount of revenue. So to see that giant of a business closed down for good is really sad that no one's going to be going in anymore to go see it. But it's unfortunate. So hopefully in the near future, when this is all done, another movie theater, or they come back and they do it, because it's a fun place to be. A lot of money spent on the car games and the Time Crisis
Stacker.
4.
Yeah, Stacker.
Stacker. That was a lot of
more rigged.
Yeah, all those games are rigged, aren't they?
One of them really wanted that Nintendo 3DS.
Yes, or the video camera. You're also a fan of of going to concerts and stuff, and you went to go see ABBA, or if that was a cover, whatever it was. Um, Once this pandemic ends, what's one singer or group that you want to see perform live?
John Mayer.
John Mayer. Why out of all the performers out there, why John Mayer?
Let me try that again. He's a good egg because okay, you know what? Let me try that again. Let me think. I would say I've always wanted to see. Okay, Pink Floyd split up, right? But I've always wanted to, like, bucket list item is to see one of the founding members, Waters and Gilmore perform live.
Yeah, definitely same.
Because their music, is like no artist means as much to me as Pink Floyd. So.
Oh, it's just powerful. Their music. I mean, you have pieces of music by them that's 7 minutes, 10, 13, 12, 11 minutes long, and half of it's just instrumental at first, and it's like, my gosh, how they...
Yeah, the length really, yeah. So they get you.
It's. I mean, there are very few songs that compare to "Comfortably Numb" and "Is Anybody Out There."
Yeah. Oh, that's a lesser known one. I'm surprised you knew that one.
Oh, I know Pink Floyd. I got a well-versed palette of music. Now that this might be a little challenging at first, it might be a little too, unexpected, but I'm curious. Your top five. The last few things I want to talk about. Your top five favorite groups or singers of all times.
Okay. All right, we're doing this. Okay, we are doing this. Pink Floyd, obviously one. Okay. Next four are honestly maybe tied for second place, but let's see. Let me try. Let me give it a shot. All time. Let's see. You're wondering about this too, right? Okay. I got to pass it in the car. All right. Let's see. Top five. All right. So Pink Floyd is obviously one. All right. What's two? What's two? It's going to be a huge tie. All right. Maybe a four-way tie, three-way tie. All right. Let's say. I'm thinking like, okay, no, let's put Green Day. Yeah, let's put Green Day too. Interesting decision, but like, I haven't.
You're cutting out.
I haven't listened to Green Day. Did you hear that? I said Green Day at 2, probably.
Okay.
Dig, you have the time, those guys. So, wow, I was just saying on a podcast. So, then I'm probably able like 3, 4, 5. Let's say Kendrick, Madonna, and the Black Keys. Okay.
Wow.
So Kendrick Lamar, Madonna, and Black Keys all sort of tied.
Wow, that's a wide range. You have Pink Floyd, then you have Green Day, Kendrick Lamar, Madonna, and then the Black Keys. Wow.
It makes no sense on paper. Yeah.
Okay, then from favorite groups or singers of all time, then we'll quickly do your top 5 favorite songs of all time.
Okay, this is another list we're doing. Let's see. Okay, so we're still in the podcast. Music.
Huh?
All right. I'm talking to my friend right now. All right. So 1, Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. That's parts 1 through 5. That's on Wish You Were Here. Pink Floyd. That's
yeah. I know that song.
Incredible song. Yeah, it's incredible. It's 10 minutes of bliss. Beautiful. So that's 1. 2, I'd probably put all these might be Pink Floyd. I'll try to like throw in like a 5th one from like a different artist. Yeah, let's do that. I put 2. I put Time by Pink Floyd. I thought it had a good message. That was actually the first Pink Floyd I listened to, and I thought, wow, these guys are amazing.
Okay.
Time. Let's say 3. 3 would be Wish You Were Here, which is also from Wish You Were Here, the album. 4 would be Dogs, also by Pink Floyd. That's on Animals. 60 minutes, incredible guitar solos. And 5, okay, I said I was going to do different artists. I'm going to say Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day.
Okay. Okay.
Also, very long songs. I don't know. I just like, I appreciate artists who do long songs.
Oh yeah, definitely. It makes it more creative and more story. Where I'll end with this last question. You've seen loads of movies, I know for a fact. Your favorite your favorite movie line that you can remember that fondly that you know the entire thing.
Are we doing like a line?
Yeah, just a movie line that sticks in your head that you will always remember and always remember.
All right, good question. All right, this isn't my favorite, okay, but it's the first thing that pops in my head. So in Avengers Endgame, all right, Thor is talking with his mom, right? On Asgard.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And Thor's mom, her name is Frigga, says something really powerful that really resonated with me. And it was what was it? So like they're basically talking, you're saying, Thor's a failure, but like, like that just makes him like everyone else because everyone's a failure. And Thor's mom says, everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. The measure, like the actual measure of a person, of a hero, is how well, what was it? How they succeed at being who they are. And I thought that was really powerful. I mean, that was really moving for me because I was like in a tough time in my life when I watched that. Like I said, I really relate to Thor's character in the game.
Yeah, well, it's definitely powerful. Jason Yang, I thank you for your time on this. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yep.
I truly do when someone like yourself takes the time out to want to come back on again and instantly jumps at the opportunity and often likes to say, oh, he does this and that. And I was on issue 2 and it means more that the heart pumps very hard and frequent to hear that and see that it means a lot. For everyone out there, hopefully you enjoyed this. It means a lot that you stuck with us for another week. What you can do now, if you enjoyed what you saw or listened to, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, follow it on all the audio platforms, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and so on and so forth. Like it, share it, which is important because that tells me that you're invested into it. Click that bell notification button on so you're notified when you subscribe or follow that new episodes are up. And leave a comment down below. Say how much you enjoyed it. It means a lot. But without further ado, catch us next week for another edition of the IST Meme Show with yours truly, NoLdAwG. We're getting closer to the season 2 finale with a big guest. And in the words of the immortal Johnny Carson, a hero and an icon, I bid you all a heartfelt good night. Stay meme and scheming. And until we see each other again soon, take care, everyone.